back in the craft room, and I'm going to be making some garden art today. And I have a friend who's moving, and he brought over a bunch of odds and ends that he thought I might like to use in my crafting. And one of the things was a bunch of thumbtacks, and I don't even have a bulletin board, so I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it. So I decided to make a little bit of garden art. And what I'm using is, I have these foam balls. They're just styrofoam balls, and these happen to be the smooth ones, but you could use the regular ones as well. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And what I'm using is, I'm using Weld Bond glue. Let me show it to you. Weld Bond. And I'm hoping this should work fine. I don't want to use hot glue because I want this outside, so if it were really hot out, the hot glue might not hold. Here's the styrofoam ball, and I have a dowel rod, which is helping me hold it, but also will become a permanent part of it later, but I haven't permanently attached it yet. As you can see, I've gotten started already, and all I'm doing is I'm dipping the push pins into the Weld Bond, and then one right next to another, I'm just pushing them right into the styrofoam ball. And don't worry about the colors or anything, because this is all going to be covered, and hopefully nobody will know that they're push pins by the time we're done. Then when you get it all covered, put it aside to dry and let it dry completely. I'm going to probably let it sit for a while, and then I'll put it near a heat register just to kind of speed things up a little bit. And then I'm going to take it out to the garage because we're having a warm day today. And I'm going to take, I have this primer, that spray paint primer that will stick to plastic. So that way I can spray it with another color after. And I have plenty of glue under the push pins to where it looks like it covered the foam, because spray paint will kind of melt and dissolve foam, styrofoam, and it doesn't do it quite as badly to this thicker foam, but it will, you know, it will still affect it some. So I think it's pretty well covered and protected, so I think it'll be alright. The top part of the flower is all finished, and what I think I'm going to do is, I had originally wanted to make this purple because there's some really pretty flowers that this kind of reminds me of, and I couldn't find the purple, any nice purple spray paint. So I think I'm going to do like the soft blue. It's almost like a hydrangea blue or something. And I think I'm going to paint the dowel rod with this light green. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and show you how all that came together. And this is stuff that can go outside. It's indoor, outdoor, so it'll help protect it even more, because this was just the primer, so it'll all stick onto the plastic. And so this should be very well protected and should stay together even in the heat. So I'm going to paint that, and then we're going to come back and do some fun things for the leaves. And I'll show you how I plan on doing that. And we're going to recycle some items for that as well. The top of the flower has been painted and dried, and so has the stick or the stem. And you insert it in there, and there it is. But I want to make some leaves to go with it. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do now. I want to make this weatherproof. So what I'm going to do is carefully push my scissors into the can. And I want to recycle, so this is why I'm using the pop cans. And then it cuts very easily. So you want to cut along the top, and then you want to do the same thing along the bottom. And I'm going to just cut straight down the side and cut along the bottom. When you get it cut out, you'll have something like this, and just kind of want to straighten it out. I'm going to just run it along. Run it along the edge, kind of straighten it out a little bit. And all that I want from this is, I want some long leaves, and I'm just going to freehand them right on here. And I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but it's very light, and I'm just going to cut them out. They don't all have to be exactly the same. There's the one. And then all you want to do is run them along the edge of a table or some kind of a corner like this. And I want the silver part to kind of stick out. We're not done with them, but and then it'll give you a little bit of a curl. And you can, have a little bit less of a curl, just kind of play with it and see how you want it. So you can kind of have it all over the place. Okay, so I have all of these leaves, and you can I'm going to just kind of rough it up with a little bit of sandpaper because we're going to throw a little bit of spray paint on here. Okay, I'm back with the flower and it's all dry, and I want to make sure I have everything secured and protected up in here as well. So I'm going to throw some Weld Bond in there, a fair amount, to make sure everything will stay put. And then I'll take the stick, which I had painted green, and I will put it in there. And then when the glue dries, it should be pretty secure. Now the next step that I have to do is I have to put on the leaves. And I've done the leaves. I did the light green on the inside and the dark green on the outside. And I did get some run over, but I'm not worried about that. I can always touch it up if I think I need to once it all comes together. I want the leaves to come in around here. Okay, I have my hot glue and it's pretty hot, and I'm using it just to do the initial tack onto here to hold the leaves in place. And then I'm going to follow up with a little bit of Weld Bond, and then I'm going to wrap it with some wire on top of it. Alright, we have the first two in place, and now I'm going to do 2 more on either side here, and then I have 2 additional ones that I'll put on also. Okay, I have the leaves on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the hot glue strings, and then I'm going to squirt a little Weld Bond down in here, and this is just a little extra insurance that hopefully everything will stick where it's supposed to stay. And I have the scrap wire. I've had this spool of wire forever. It's not even the same color it started out to be. And I'm just going to take some of it and just wrap it around the bottom of the leaves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this just for additional security, so when it's outside, if the hot glue melts or if the Weld Bond for some odd reason would give out, we have the addition of the wire there to keep everything in place. So I do want to pull that pretty tight as I'm going around, and I'm going to pull it with the pliers to make sure I have it tight. Okay, when I have it all tight on there and feel pretty good about it, then I'm going to throw a little glue on there as well, and then let it dry, and then I'll be touching that up with some of the green paint, and I'll be touching some of the leaves up with the green paint, and then it'll be all done. So that's it, and you'll see some pictures of it when it's finished. Hope you like it. Hope you give it a try. It's a great way to reuse thumbtacks that maybe you don't need anymore, and pop bottles, so it's a great recycling craft, and it's kind of fun to put out in the garden. It makes you think of spring a little bit, and you can adjust these leaves any way you want also. And thanks for watching. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Happy crafting!